Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. For today's podcast, I actually have Rossie McCree with me again. She's an independent actress, and guess what? We're actually going to be doing a Christmas Story review, and I'm actually happy to be talking about this. I'm excited about this movie. This is actually one of those other movies that I was actually excited to review, and I'm glad that we're actually doing it, just like the Scarface review that we did.
Yes.
This movie still holds up. It has a special place in my heart for Christmas and everything. What about you?
Oh, I love this movie. I watch it every Christmas and even New Year's. It's just a timeless movie. It's a great movie. I love this movie.
I agree. This movie is great. This movie actually takes place in 1939. It's also came out in 1983. It's about a little kid named Ralphie, and he wants a BB gun for Christmas. It's a simple movie if you actually think about it, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, it
You
is.
know, I love the simplicity of it because we
Yes.
always have that one gift that we always wanted,
Yeah.
and we're hoping that either it makes us popular in school or it amplifies our Christmas to where we're like, I got this for Christmas. I cannot wait to tell my friends about this and
Right.
everything. So it has
Right.
that flavor to it, you know?
Right.
Because even Ralphie says it though too. He says, I want this BB gun so bad I can taste it.
Right. Yes.
So it was great. And I also love the mother, the father, who they actually call old man, isn't and
Yeah.
everything. This was great. And you know, and another thing though too that I like is the narration with Ralphie because normally with
Yes.
some narrations, okay, go on.
No, I was gonna say that's probably my favorite part of the movie is the narration, how he tells the story, what's going on. Yeah, I love it. I really do love it. Oh gosh, I watched it earlier today, like I was telling you, and I forgot how funny it was. And I watched it by myself and was sitting here laughing. And you're right, it's an in and out movie. It's not that long.
No, and
No, it's
you know
not a
with
long movie.
commercials, okay, well get this though, with commercials they clocked it in at 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, because of the commercials and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
which
And
is
it's like
crazy,
it's only like an hour 33.
right?
Yeah.
But you know, another thing too is with some narrations, when people narrate certain movies and stuff like that, either it can take you out of the movie or it can amplify it.
It amplified it
And
big time.
right,
Yes. Yeah, his voice, his soothing voice of him telling a story. And it sounded like the old Christmas animations back in the 80s, your Rudolph the
mhm,
Red-Nosed Reindeer, Jack
right,
Frost, that narration that brings you in. So it to me it's set up exactly like that. Just not animation. And I love how it gets started in that Red Ryder BB gun that we
maybe
hear
done.
about throughout the whole movie.
Right, and then he thinks he's so slick at getting his parents to do this for him because
Yep.
how many of us actually do this where we actually go ahead and we try and take out a little clipping of
Yes.
an article and then we try to slip it into the magazine to say, oh, you know what, my son might like this or my daughter
Right.
might like this, so
Yep.
why not, let me go on ahead and get that for him. So
Yes.
he thinks he's so slick, he's so proud of himself, and he has a little nod to himself. He goes, yeah, mission accomplished, I did what I set out to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what was funny was, remember, anytime he talked about the Red Ryder gun, especially with adults, like with the teacher, when he was excited about the story that they had to write a story about what they wanted for Christmas, and he
Right,
thought that was his time to really talk about this Red Ryder BB gun, and he writes a story about the Red Ryder BB gun. And remember, there's a scene where the teacher gives him the C on the paper,
right.
and
And
at the
also too,
end of
he
the
also
paper,
tries bribing the teacher.
yeah, that's right, with the big fruit basket. There
Right.
he comes up there, and all the kids are like, "Here's an apple, maybe a banana," and you have Ralphie with this huge fruit basket, sits it on her desk, and just kind of stands there like, I hope this
Well,
gets me an A on that paper, and I get that Red Ryder BB gun. And it was
right.
hilarious because she kind of just looks at him like, "Okay, Ralphie, you can sit down," and he's just like, gotta get you something different,
Right.
Yeah,
For that A.
yeah, something different,
Right.
this year.
Just something a little extra.
Yeah,
Wink. You know.
What did you think about the kids, the group of friends that he had?
Oh, I thought the friends were really good, very relatable. The chemistry between the kids were really good. I also have to say you can actually relate to the characters because who doesn't triple dog dare someone to do something stupid?
Absolutely. Yes. Poor Flick. The
Right, Flick
Flick is
gets a lot.
Flick is great, but when they double dog dare him, and Flick is a friend of Ralphie. It's a Ralphie, and I think Schwartz was the other friend, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken.
Yes.
And anyway, so they double dog dare Flick, who is this kid that's just, he can do anything, and they dare him to stick his tongue on a freezing cold pole in the middle of winter, and he gets his tongue stuck to the pole. All the kids leave because the bell's ringing, and remember at that time, if the bell rings, you're supposed to be in the class, and they kind of just
Right.
leave Flick out there, get in the class, and I love how they're kind of sitting there. Ralphie and his friend are sitting there, and the teacher's like, "Where's Flick?" Ralphie kind of looks around like, what are you talking about, Flick? And then the little girl's like, you see him stuck to the freaking pole. Fireman comes to the school, which is a huge deal at that time for the firemen to come to the school.
Right.
To get Flick's tongue off of this pole that's freezing. And he comes inside with his tongue bandaged. It was just a hilarious scene. And Ralphie and them are still sitting there like, what happened to you, Flick?
And he's like, right? And that was a really good scene though. And I feel bad for him because Flick always gets the shit into the stick on this movie. And I'm going to get to that in a minute on why he does get the shit into the stick. But I like my other thing though too that I have to say I really loved about this though too is the narration, like I mentioned before. But I also like it whenever he gets in trouble for something and it goes into his mind of all the things he's been thinking about and things like that, going through the emotions of a kid.
Yes.
And especially when they're going Christmas tree shopping, which I've never done in my life. I always had a fake tree.
Really?
Yeah, I never had the privilege of actually chopping down a tree and bringing it home and all that. Yeah, I actually have a fake tree. So
okay.
So, and so they get a flat tire. So he gets, it's a father and son bonding time. It's time to teach your son how to be a man and put a tire on. And so he gets out there and Ralphie drops something, goes, well, fuck. And and the father goes, what did you just say? Fudge? And he goes, no, that's not what you said. Get back in the car. And he goes, oh no, I'm going to get it now. Is it going to be the Chinese torture? Is it going to be the beating with the switch? Is it?
That's
right. And I like that because as kids, we go through those emotions. And then, you're going in there. It's like, so did he? And then the mother's like, so does he need help? No, he's okay. He's fine. And she doesn't even tell him what happens. So
yeah, because he gets in the car because he knows he's going to get it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So father goes, did your son tell you what he said? He goes, no, what did he say? What? So
I love that part. Yes. What? And then when he gets home, he gets home and he's waiting for his punishment. So there's a scene where back in that day, even in my day, the soap and the bar soap in the mouth. Mm-hmm. But remember, a mom's like, so where did you hear that word from, Ralphie? And he's like, Schwartz, just says his friend's name. So mom calls him up. Do you know what Ralphie said? And I remember the lady on the other, well, maybe he gets it from his dad. No, it was from Schwartz. And then you hear, what? And then you hear the kid being beaten in the background. No, mom, what happened, mom? What did I do? Hilarious scene. Yes.
You said that word? How dare you say that word?
That's right. Yes.
That scene alone makes me laugh. And then, of course, I remember when my brother used to get the soap in the mouth and everything as a kid. And, it's such, it's one of those old, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those old school mentalities of punishing your kid. Right. And I liked how we went into detail saying, I got this flavored soap because I can actually stand to actually have it in my mouth because it actually has a certain flavor to it, which I thought that
Right.
was really funny. That he
Right.
actually took his time to pick up the soap
Right.
that what he could actually handle, just like picking out a switch and everything.
Yeah, the switch. Exactly.
Right. So I thought that was
Yeah.
actually handled very well.
Yeah, he was like
Um,
a flavor of palm olive or something that he can deal with that taste, you know. Yeah.
right. And then there's the little orphan Annie thing that he does to decipher the
Yes.
code. That was
Yes.
hilarious.
I love
Because
that because remember in the beginning of the movie, you know, he's I think he's going out to the mailbox because he's talking about, you know, little orphan Annie. She gives a code and he had the decoder and she gives you a phrase each week and he's supposed to win something, I think. But he's thinking that this phrase that he's gonna decode is gonna be something really huge. So he
right.
he goes in the bathroom and he's finally got time to decode, and then he realizes it's drink your Ovaltine, son of a bitch, because throughout the whole
And not to mention his poor brother's actually in the mix of this though too, because
that's
he has to use the
right.
bathroom. And
That's
the funny
right.
thing is, you know, Ralphie looks like a detective that's going into the bathroom and he has his
Yes.
sleeves rolled up and
That's
has his suspenders
suspenders.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, that's what makes me laugh. And he goes, your brother has to use the bathroom. Well, hold on, for crying out loud. I'm trying to
That's
do something. And all of a sudden fills it out. Drink your Ovaltine, son of a
yeah.
bitch.
Son of a bitch. Like this whole time, drink your Ovaltine, son of a bitch. I love that how he just
Me
opens
too.
up the door and Randy's just kind of doing a pee dance and goes
Right.
into the bathroom, and the way Ralphie walked out was just the disappointment that poor kid had. Because even me, I couldn't wait to find out what is it
Right.
gonna decode? What does it say? I'm thinking it's gonna be something big, and you even think to yourself, son of a bitch,
Right.
that's what it is? Drink your
I,
Ovaltine?
and you know
Yeah.
what? We actually feel just as disappointed as he is and everything because we spent
Yes.
5 minutes of our lives watching him decode this.
Yes.
And
And
you know what
hoping
else
it's
is
something big.
right? And you know what else is funny? And it's been a while since I've seen A Christmas Story and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm over there getting just excited and everything. Okay,
Yep.
what's this? What's this code? And I'm like, oh, okay. 5 minutes of my life that I can't get back. Okay, so
Because
I feel
I
the same way
forgot
as
what
you
it
do,
was.
Rosie.
I
Right,
forgot it was drink your Ovaltine. I thought it was something different. So even I was
right,
like, oh, that's right. It was drink. That's what it
right.
was. Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that. I liked how they did the little Orphan Annie with the shows and stuff.
Yes.
Because don't forget, back in those days in 1939, they didn't have a TV. They usually listened to shows like The Shadow and things like
Yes.
that to get their entertainment, to have other people to do the stories for them.
Right.
So I actually like that.
I did
Another
too.
another thing though too, I also liked it when Ralphie's actually imagining him having that BB gun
Yeah. Yeah.
and he's chasing the bullies with it and everything, shooting
Yeah.
them. And he has the mother and the brother and the father inside the kitchen. I'm like, oh, thank you, Ralphie, for saving us. Thank you so much. If it wasn't for us getting that BB gun, we would have never been saved. He goes, you're welcome, ma'am. It's my duty.
That's right. When he's in the oh gosh, and that white cowboy hat and
Right.
the spurs and all that. I love the cutaways that they did. It was like
Me
watching an
too.
episode of Family Guy. You know, there's a cutaway that they have. You know, if Ralphie,
Right.
like you said, after he got the soap in the mouth, remember he goes and gets in bed and he's laying there crying. And no, I'm thinking about when I'm sorry, when he beat up Farkas.
Yeah, Vargas was actually my favorite part though too,
Yeah.
because don't forget, there's also a narration where where he actually says his father's was the best um heat beater or whatever, furnace
Mm-hmm.
beater. And so he's
Mm-hmm.
using all that foul language on the kid
Right.
and everything and just wailing on him. And matter of fact, that's
Yes.
actually the scene that actually has that whole entire thing where I think that's where he said, what is it going to be? The Chinese torture or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So the electric chair. So
Because
they all be
remember the kids
extreme,
were like,
burned by
Ralphie,
fire.
your mom's here, and he's just welling on the kid because he found out at school that he got a C+ on that paper. But not only that, at the end of the teacher wrote, "You'll shoot your eye out." So he's
Yep.
walking home from school. Which remember, walking home from school to them, it was dangerous because remember, every time they walk home from school, the bullies are already after them. So they're
Right.
always running home. But that day, no, you caught Ralphie at the wrong time. that day.
Exactly. And
Yes.
another thing though too is this. I also like the father with the leg.
Oh
The
gosh, Fragile.
fragile, yeah. He goes, it's fragile. I think it's Italian. It's just fragile. He made it Italian,
You made it
which I thought that was
Italian.
really funny. Which I thought that
Yeah,
was really
I
funny.
absolutely hilarious. Ralphie, when he takes the leg, remember, he doesn't know it's a lamp. He just takes the leg out and it's just a leg. And remember, Ralphie's like rubbing the leg, and a
Mhm.
mom's like slapping his hand, and then
Right.
they get realize it's a lamp and put it together. And back in those days, that's
That's really
really
risque.
intimate. You don't
Right.
advertise that. And poor lady has to put it right up in the living room, right by the window. So when people walk by, they see this leg that's in this nylon lamp, like it looks like a skirt. And she was
Right.
absolutely embarrassed. But I love that. I mean, side note, I was on freaking Amazon, and I was looking for gifts, and guess what comes up? The freaking
The
leg.
leg.
The
Really?
leg, the lamp.
You should have done that as like a gag gift for somebody, just to see what they would
Dude,
do.
I was gonna send it like to my mom or someone, but then nah, I won't do that. And then as we were doing the show, when I thought about the show today, I was like, dang, I should have ordered it and had it sitting off to the side so that when we
Right.
got to that part, I can sit and say, John, look what I have. But
Right.
yeah,
It's all good. But
yeah,
you know what though? I like it when Ralphie's over there rubbing the leg and he's just memorized
yes,
by it. Because
yeah.
it's a leg.
It's
And just
right,
and
right.
then
Like
the brother's also doing it too. And
Randy,
then
yes.
and what did the father say? I forgot what kind of award it was.
Oh
That's
gosh, I forget the award, but was it a work award or something that he was telling his
yeah, it was
friends?
something like that.
Some type of work award, and he's making it seem like he's really important. This
Right,
gift that he got, he won it, and not everyone can do that. Only
right.
I could win something like that. Yeah, yeah. It
And
was his
he
prize.
announces it to the neighborhood. He announces it to the
Yes,
neighborhood. The mother's
yes,
embarrassed and
yes.
everything. And she's like, I have to put up with this for God knows how long now with this stupid leg on my
Yeah.
in my living room.
Lit up.
And and then also too, she accidentally breaks the leg,
Oh yes.
you know, which I thought that was really funny.
I like when he
And
was like, "You didn't get tape. You used the tape just to get back at me for getting this leg because he couldn't get the tape or the glue. It was the glue. He
right,
was like upset that she broke the leg, and he was like, "You used all the glue so that I couldn't use the glue for my leg or something like that." But he was
right.
pissed when that leg broke.
Right. And that reminds me of last night. I was watching a live stream with Tom McDonald, this rapper that I listened to,
Mm-hmm.
and his girlfriend actually bought him a new mug for him to drink out of. So the funny thing is, he accidentally broke it like less than 5 minutes from him drinking his very first sip of
Mm-hmm.
whatever that was actually in that mug. And he goes,
Mm.
"Oh shit." He goes, babe, yeah, I just broke the glass." And you know, she goes, "What do you mean you just broke the glass?" "I just broke the glass that you just bought me for Christmas." He goes, "What? How dare you do that?" He goes, "Imagine how I feel." He goes, "I just broke something that you bought me. I'm just as heartbroken as you are about this." And that's
Yeah.
exactly how
Yeah.
the father feels.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually pretty funny. That was because the father's like, "I'm gonna try and glue this thing back together again,
Right.
try and redo this thing." I thought it was actually
Yes.
funny. Let's see, we actually have some people in the chat. Missy
Oh,
Joe is
cool.
back. Hey Missy, how you
Hey,
doing?
Missy Joe.
And hey baby, hey Brandy.
Hey, Brandy.
And yeah, I thought that that bit where he's actually trying to salvage this whole entire thing with the leg
Yes.
was funny. I thought it was really
Yes.
good. And then of course, you know, then after that winds up happening, that and hey, okay, Brandy said hi, Rossi. And
Okay.
let's see, and then of course, that's also whenever the father moves on to something else. And and that's whenever he tries to do the turkey.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, but
Go
we can
ahead.
talk about that in a minute because we still
Yeah.
have the Santa Claus scene.
Yes, we have the Santa, but let me just bring this point up really quick. I thought this was funny. The beginning of the movie, it's super cold, and there's a funny scene where she's getting Ralphie and Randy, the little brother, ready for school. Remember the scene where she's poor Randy has all those layers on, and she's getting them in the clothes, and he has to wear this, he has to wear that, and in his hands, because he has so much stuff on, his arms won't go down, so he's whining. And the mom's like trying to put his arms down, and it flops back up and goes down and flops back up. And she's like, well, put your arms down when you go to school, and sends him out. And he's just running behind Ralphie. And he's just, I love that scene. I love that scene.
I do too. And then even when the bullies are messing with them, you know, they push him down to the ground and he can't even.
That's right. He plays dead because he couldn't get up.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Even Ralphie says that my brother's playing dead the whole time while I'm over here being threatened by these bullies. So I thought that was actually
his strategy. Yes.
And then, of course, the Christmas parade winds up happening. Ralphie's excited. Yes. Okay, strike one was this teacher. Someone has to understand it.
Okay.
So what better way to get my BB gun than to talk to the man himself?
Exactly. Santa Claus.
You know, and this is what Ralphie winds up saying to his mom. He goes, it's the same lame ass Christmas parade as always. He goes, where is Santa at? Then finally at the very end, there's Santa. He goes, okay, there's Santa. Can we go to the mall now?
Right. And the mall, how funny was that? So the huge line of kids to go see Santa. And I love this scene because I love the elves. I love how over exaggerated they were with the bells. You know, and how in a rush they were because the mall was getting ready to close. Santa's in a pissy mood because he has all these kids. And so they're just like rotating the kids and throwing them down that huge slide, which I thought was really fun, you know. And I thought it was funny that the yells that they would do as they go down, because Santa, Santa's kind of scary. He was to me growing up. I was absolutely afraid of Santa. We had to be paid to sit on Santa's lap. I thought it was the creepiest stuff ever. To go to the Santa in a mall. I was just really afraid of them. But the kids have that kind of, they're yelling as they're talking to Santa. They're crying as they go down the slide. And then Ralphie and his brothers turn to go and sit on Santa's lap. And remember, Randy kind of had a fit.
Right.
As he sits up there.
Yes, I remember that. Randy has a fit. Santa had enough of his fit. He sends him down the slide. And then here comes Ralphie. He goes, hey, little boy, what do you want? He goes, And he goes, how about a nice football? And he goes, yeah, football. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he just remembers and catches himself between the slide and everything. I love that. And he says, what I want is, I want a baby gun. You're going to shoot your eye out, kid. And all of a sudden the elf all of a sudden Santa just pushes him down with his foot. I thought that was actually pretty funny.
I love that. I love how when Ralphie caught himself, when he realized what he didn't tell Santa. So he's going down a slide and he stops himself, climbs back up and looks up and says, I want a Red Ryder BB gun. Da, 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 da. And Santa's like, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. And then the boot to the face and down the slide. I love that part in the mall. Love that.
I do too. Crichton said the voice actor made a cameo in the mall. I did not know that. If you can, Crichton, tell us where he made the appearance at, because I'm actually kind of curious about that now. Let's see. Randy said the bunny pajamas.
Oh,
we're gonna talk about that.
Well, okay, it's a ways away.
Right, and then Randy said that slide looked scary as a little kid.
Yeah,
it looked scary. Yeah, I'll admit.
Yeah, as a little bitty kid his age, that huge slide, absolutely,
definitely. But I think I was wondering too if maybe he was just over exaggerating his experience, though.
Ralphie's?
Yeah. I was just wondering if maybe he was just over exaggerating his experience just a tad bit since he was a kid.
Yeah,
and everything. And but that's what I was just wondering about, because having that huge slide, I'm like, what about the safety precautions that you actually have to have this huge ass slide in your mall?
Yeah,
and everything. Is there a waiver? Right. But then again, it's 1939, so
that would happen in 1930. We didn't
Right,
know yet.
right. But then, of course, hold on one second.
Okay.
This is what he said. This is what Crichton said. When they were in line waiting for Santa, somewhere around there. Okay, I'm gonna have to rewatch that now.
Okay.
Thank you for telling me that, Crichton. I'm gonna have to actually check that out after
Mm,
this because that's gonna drive me
never knew that.
nuts.
Yeah,
Me
never
either.
knew that. I'm going back to everyone he was in a line with because I
Hmm,
remember I watched, yeah, the scene. But anyways, I'm gonna go back and see that too because I didn't
me
know
too.
that.
Good to know. Some good trivia right there. Um,
Absolutely.
so, anyways, we go on ahead. Santa says no. Then, of course, it's Christmas Day. Ralphie's
Oh,
opening up his presents, and he's still bummed out about
oh,
everything.
absolutely.
And then, of course, there's that one embarrassing present that one of your family members started thinking, you know what? I think that my
Mm,
my grandson might like this. And
right.
so it happens to be, it was that stupid, ugly pink bunny outfit.
Oh my gosh, I felt so
And
sorry for that kid.
I did too. And I love what the father says. He looks like a deranged Easter bunny.
Right, a pink nightmare or something
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
It was, yeah, it's hilarious, and just to make him go, because I mean, first of all, he realizes he's not getting the gun.
No.
He doesn't think he's getting a gun. He has to go put this pink bunny suit on and come down and parade in it. You know,
Right.
yes,
And
and go.
another thing though too is like, great, it's not even Easter time and I have to wear this stupid thing.
Yes,
And that's like
yes,
his third strike because he struck out with the teacher, he struck out with Santa.
yeah,
Now it was left up to the parents, and he thought maybe they could actually just bring it on home,
right.
and it was bad.
No, nothing,
And
nothing.
then of course the father says this, Ralphie, what about what's inside that corner over there? And that's when the mother's just looking at him like, what? I don't
Yeah,
remember anything. Just go over there. So he went over there. Ralphie goes on ahead. He opens it up. It's the baby gun that he's been wanting. He's just
yes.
excited to the moon about it. He wasn't even gonna put on his jacket. That's how
That's
excited he
right.
was.
He was going outside with his Red Ryder BB gun to go and play. And I remember how ecstatic he was when he looked behind the tree, opened it up. He's all just like, "Oh my gosh, that's the gift I wanted." He ended up getting it, runs outside or has to go get dressed. And then what does he do when he go outside, John, and plays with his BB gun?
Well, what winds up happening is there's actually a little bit of a recoil with the gun, and it ends up hitting him in the eye. And yep, and he thought he was dead. Ralphie actually thought he was dead
He
at that
did. Remember?
moment. Right.
And
And
then, mm-hmm.
he goes in the house, starts crying and everything. And his mom goes, what happened? An icicle fell. Oh my God, I am so glad you're okay.
And then he looks at the
And
camera as his mom is getting the stuff. He looks at the camera and kind of goes, kind of gives a, you know, and then looks back at mom and doing the crying and the icicle and oh my gosh, and my glasses. It's okay. We got a spare pair. And I
right.
thought that was clever. I love that because remember when he gets hit, when he shoots himself in the eye from the target, when the gun recoils, and he thinks he's dead. When he realizes not dead, he's laying there thinking of, oh my God, what am I going to say? How am I going to explain this on
Right.
my eye? Icicles are all over the place.
Exactly. And another thing
Yeah,
though too, at that moment, he also trusts his mom because especially whenever he got into that fight with the bully and everything,
that's right. Yeah,
she covered it up for him. So at that
right.
point, he has that love and trust with his mom to where he can go to her and it'll be okay.
Yeah,
And even though he's lying, he knows that he could probably get in over on her just a little bit.
absolutely.
And he
Absolutely.
and he knows that if he winds up saying that baby gun is what gave him that eye, that would have been a wrap.
Done.
So that's one scene that I really loved a lot was that particular scene because of the fact
Yeah,
how many of us always wanted something that was actually bad for us
yeah,
and we got it and we actually did exactly what our parents said we were going to do
right,
and we hurt ourselves. So
right.
that's exactly what happened here. Crichton said that, well, Missy Joe said James Shepard was actually the guy that was actually doing the narration.
Okay,
And
Gene Shep.
then,
Okay, he was the
it,
he wrote it. He wrote the story.
right.
Yes.
And then this is actually something that I didn't know. Jack Nicholson was actually was going to be up for the role for the father. He tried out,
Huh.
but the studio couldn't afford him at that time.
You know, I couldn't see him doing that, and also
Mm-mm.
because we seen the movie and we see how great the dad, the guy who they cast as the dad, did a great job. It was so
Right,
they were such a natural family, like for real. You really thought they were family. The way that they cast all of them, it was perfect. They were so natural together, and you really bought that was Ralphie's mom and dad. Like they really lived in
right,
that house, and I love that about the story was you really felt that they were a family and we were peeking into their life during
right.
Christmas time. You know,
I
it,
felt that
it
too.
sells. And that's why we love the movie every year. People watch
Right,
this movie, you know? It sells. You
exactly.
feel something. It's a great Christmas movie.
It really is. And another thing too is I feel like this. If they were going to get Jack Nicholson, he'd be a little bit more rough around the edges a little bit. He
Yeah.
wouldn't have that charismatic feel to it where he's
Yeah.
actually a father.
Right.
You know. So, and not only that, but we also this movie also came out in the 1980s, and so did The Shining. So
I was
you also
just
have to,
thinking, yes, thank you for saying that. Thank you.
you're welcome, because I
Yeah.
actually feel like that he would have been rough around the edges to the point where it's not believable enough to where he's actually charismatic towards his son. And it was like,
Yeah.
okay, here we go again. Jack is gonna go nutty or
Right.
whatever on the son because he's been cast from The Shining. But
I
I'm
was
glad
just
that the
gonna say,
studios
go ahead. I'm sorry.
right. But yeah, I'm
N-
just glad the studios couldn't afford him and they got
Yeah.
this actor instead because he knocked it out of the park. Like you said,
Oh,
the
yeah.
characters are relatable, the
Yep.
father's relatable, so is the
Yep.
mother. And
Yep.
then especially when he's getting ready to do the turkey,
Oh
and
God. Yeah.
all hell breaks loose at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And that's when the neighbors' dogs. We don't even see the neighbors at all. They just mention the
No, you
neighbors,
see the
especially when
dogs.
right. Especially when Ralphie it has his baby gun. He goes, "Don't shoot any animals unless it's the neighbor's dogs. You can
That's
shoot
right.
them, but not
That's
any
right.
other animal."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's actually a hate love relate. There's actually a hate relationship with the neighbor's dogs.
Absolutely.
But
Because they destroyed everything. I mean, I can't think they came in there and they like towards the beginning of the movie, the neighbor's dog. You get an introduction to the neighbor's dog and how much of a nuisance that they are. So they introduce you that kind of earlier on in the story, and then, like you said, the turkey scene.
right, and then another thing that I thought that was really funny was, you see this turkey being torn apart with the dogs and
Right.
everything, and then they disappear like nothing even happened, and then the father's just like, "Well, kids, it's time to go out to eat." And I even said this in Nicole's review
Hmm.
on her podcast. I'm like, where are they gonna go? It's Christmas Day, you
Right?
know?
Exactly.
That-
Yeah.
Especially in 1930 on in 1939,
Yeah.
there's a traditional Christmas. There's no
Yes.
other stores open.
Right.
There's nothing open. So
No.
I'm actually surprised that they actually found a restaurant where it was a Chinese restaurant that was actually open next to a bowling alley, which I find
Thank
hilarious.
you for mentioning that. I thought that was clever. The bowling alley. I never noticed that before, but today as I'm watching it, I'm like, because I'm looking at everything so that just in case I miss something the first time, first few times,
Right,
but I never realized there's a bowling alley next to the Chinese restaurant.
right. And I thought that was
So
actually
that
pretty
means,
funny.
yeah, yeah. And then
And
they
then,
have
right,
Chinese turkey.
right. Their version of turkey is totally different from the United States version of what turkey is. Theirs is
Right.
duck, which I
Yes.
thought was hilarious. And I'm gonna
Yes.
let you go on ahead and go into that scene where
Okay.
what they're doing with the turkey with the father and the family.
Okay, so they're all gathered at the table for their turkey dinner, which they think is going to be American turkey, regular American dinner. And they bring out the turkey, and it's a duck with the head on it. So when they bring it to the table, they're freaking out because oh my gosh, the head's on it. We don't do that. So the dad's trying to tell the waiter, it's good, but so the waiter just takes the the butcher knife or whatever,
Right.
and chops the head off, and it's like, okay, here you go. Now, is this what you guys like? So they're sitting there, they're laughing because this is hilarious. And then he brings out the singers. Some of the staff from the restaurant decide to make them feel, at home, like they're having a great American Christmas. And they start singing minus the duck with the head on it. But they decide to serenade them with was it Jingle Bells, or wasn't it Jingle Bells? Or...
It was Deck the Halls with Fowls of Rah Rah.
That's right. That's right.
Because remember, Deck the Hall with the Fowls of Rah Rah, la 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 la.
And the owner of the restaurant, he's like, no, deck the halls with whatever, holly.
Fowls of Holly. Right.
Folly, okay. Follow la la la. And they're like, deck the halls with fowls of folly. And he's like, correcting them. And then it's like, forget it. Go to another song. So then they go to Jingle Bells.
Right, which is even funnier because they go jingle bell, jingle all the way, which was really funny.
It was great. And you see the kids at the table and they're dying, they're laughing. Great movie.
It was. And, I could just see the Chinese waiters and everything like, look, guys, we're doing the best we can here at what we have.
Exactly.
Okay? I can't help that my English is not so good. You're just going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to give you guys a great Christmas,
Right. You came to us. We didn't come to you. We were minding our own business next to this bowling alley that no one's going to right now. So,
yes.
Let's see here. Missy Jo said, hold on. Ralphie's mom always covered for him. Yes, she did. She covered for him twice in that movie. She's such a great mother. And then Crichton says the writers who sang to them, the waiters who sang to them, that was improvised by the actors. The director wanted a real reaction, and that was a totally awesome improv. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I was watching it today, I thought to myself, when that scene was going on, they seemed to not know that was going to happen because their reactions to them singing, they were dying. Even the kids, Ralphie was whispering in his brother's ear, and I wonder what they're saying as actors. What's he saying? Was this planned? Because if it was planned, they did a good job, but it doesn't seem like they knew that was going to happen.
No, absolutely not. Because the horror, like their eyes got big, like deers in headlights.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't know quite what to do here, but
Even with the turkey, do you think that they knew that they would bring out the duck with the head on it? Because their reaction to that seemed to be like they weren't even expecting that.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was also improvised.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't be surprised either like there was nothing in that script to mention the turkey for the Chinese or anything like that.
Exactly.
So the father going, well, okay, and then poking it, doing different things with it. Right. It's like, we don't have this at our church, and it's such a normal reaction though if you actually think about it, because if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you're wanting a Christmas dinner turkey, you're not gonna get your normal everyday turkey. You're gonna get what they celebrate, and that's what they celebrate.
And usually it's going to be a duck.
Right. Yeah. So, that's a normal reaction to someone that's not expecting it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was also improv.
Exactly, because it looked very much improv. It looked like they didn't know, and their reaction was just great. And I remember just looking, thinking, "Gosh, I wonder if they knew." They don't look like they knew that was going to happen.
No, definitely not.
Yes.
So let's see here. I want to actually try and involve the chat a little bit. Is there any favorite things that you guys like? Was there a Christmas present that you wanted and everything, but you never got, or your parents told you, no, you do not need to actually have that? Tell us in the comments section. We'll be doing this for another couple of minutes and everything. Another thing too is I actually tweeted out on my Twitter and I said, tell me, what was one of the presents that you always wanted as a kid? So ACS, which is my friend Anthony from his YouTube channel, from ACS Universe, He said he wanted a Game Boy. And that's that big,
Really?
bulky Game Boy.
Yep.
And I remember wanting a Game Boy and everything as well as a kid. And also, too,
Yeah.
but for me being an 80s kid, the very thing I wanted was an NES game system.
Yes. Right.
That's what I
That was
wanted.
what I wanted. Same here. I wanted an NES game system with, of course, the Mario Brothers. And we end up getting an NES game system, but we got it with Friday the 13th for
Wow.
Nintendo. But
That's actually surprising.
I was disappointed because I wanted the Mario Brothers, and I didn't know that that's the only game I knew on the NES when it came out at the time was Mario Brothers was a big deal. Well, that Christmas, the package that they had, they didn't have the Mario Brothers had been sold out with the NES, so our NES came with the Friday the 13th for Nintendo, and
Right.
I remember being just super disappointed, and I end up putting this game on and just with a sad face and end up loving the game. It was actually a really good game.
Let's see. Brandy said Zelda from back then was our favorite. Okay.
I
But
get that.
you know what, though? I didn't even know that there was other packages for Nintendo
Yeah,
because, I was so used to Super Mario Brothers being on that front end
yeah,
of the box and including Duck Hunt as well.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
And I never knew that they actually put another package together just in case that they ran out. And
Yeah, they
I'm
did.
actually surprised that they put Friday the 13th as a game for kids to play,
They
which I
sure
find
did.
hilarious.
They did. They came with a. They ran out of the Mario Brothers, and it came with the Friday the 13th. I was shocked because, like you, I mean, Friday the 13th on NES. Dude, it was really cool. You start out at Camp Crystal Lake, and I remember Jason. This was his move. That was his move when
Oh,
he caught
yeah,
up to you. And I remember he
right,
had to run around the cabins and all that. It ended up being a really good game. But that was the
right,
only game we had for the NES. Yeah.
right. But get this, though. I also remember another thing, though, too, with the Friday the 13th game. You can go
Mm-hmm.
into the caves, get lost in the
Yes.
cave area, and
Yep.
then go into the houses, the cabins, and stuff like that. I
Yep.
remember that. Oh,
Yep.
Missy Joe actually said something. She goes, Barbie's new house and her sports car.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Yes. We were I was a Barbie. I love Barbie. And Missy is my sister. We loved Barbie. We were crazy about Barbie. And I remember we wanted a Barbie dream house for the longest time and we never would get it. Well, one Christmas we woke up and there was a huge Barbie dream house in the living room with the sports car. The house is totally furnished, Barbies and everything. That had to be the best Christmas ever, ever.
That's awesome. That's
It
really
was
awesome.
absolutely awesome. Yeah. Took some years, but we ended up getting it. Yeah.
Hey,
So
better
thanks
late
for the
than never,
memory,
though.
Missy Joe.
All right. So that's going to be it for the show and everything. Where can the kids find you at?
The kids can find me on Instagram at McCree. Wait, what is it? McCree123 hotmail.com. MCCREE hotmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at Rossie Lynn Bark1. That's Rossie Lynn, BARQ1. And on Facebook, Rossie Lynn.
Okay. And I have a few announcements I need to get to. Tomorrow, Tamika's going to be back on the show tomorrow. I'm actually going to have one of my other friends. As a matter of fact, he's actually an independent comic book writer and artist. Quentin Bennett is going to be back, and we're going to be doing our National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation review tomorrow night on the YouTube channel.
Cool.
So we're going to be doing that 8:00 as usual. No, 7:00 is where we're doing it because of Tamika's schedule. And then Tamika and I are going to be back again on Saturday, and we're reviewing A Muppets Christmas Carol.
Ooh.
And then after that, we're doing Jingle All the Way on Sunday.
Okay.
So that's going to be our 3 Christmas movies.
Cool.
I don't know and I was actually going to make that for our December 25th Christmas Day podcast episode / YouTube video. But you guys actually get to see it live. So everybody else is just going to have to wait a little bit. But
Right.
that's the announcements that I actually have. Monday, I actually have 2 shows going on at one time. I actually have my friend, matter of fact, we actually call this Mafia Talk Mondays.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, so at 8 o'clock, which is just going to be a podcast audio only, we're going to be doing season 4 of The Sopranos, reviewing season 4 of The Sopranos. But I'm also gonna have an independent amateur wrestler on the show, interviewing him. Uh, I'm hoping that I can actually get him on YouTube. If not, it's fine. I can actually do audio only as well. But I'm gonna be interviewing him on Monday. That's actually gonna be at 7 o'clock, and then after that, I have another show at 8 o'clock, which is Talking Mafia with Mike Perkins. So that's what I have going on. If you guys want to
Okay.
donate to the show and everything, thank you. If you guys want to donate to the show, go on ahead, click the link below. You know what to do. Another thing too is I'm actually sponsored by Audible all the way up until the end of the month. So go on ahead, smash that subscribe button to go ahead and subscribe for 30 days. And that's another way that you guys can actually support our channel. Another thing too is if you want to go for all your entertainment needs and wants, go to www.movieloversunite.com. We also have a Pinterest, Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite. We also have a Instagram, Movie Lovers TV Lovers Unite as well over there. You can follow me on Movie Lovers Unit on Twitter, and you can also follow me on Twitter as well, John Diogorio 8. And always until next time, guys, have a merry and great Christmas if I don't see you guys or anything like that. And God bless everybody. And always
Right.
until next time, bye-bye.